And I need to pin the... Hello, Jim.
Mr. Excitement.
Hi, Mr. Energy. How are you?
What's going on, sir?
Everything is excellent, my friend. Everything
Same here.
is good. We're staying safe. And I want to pin you first, so people, as they come in, they know the... So, how is Philly? Are you in lockdown?
We are not 100%, not 100%.
I see.
There are some essential workers working, but in order to get in certain stores, depending on the store, you have to have a mask on.
All right. That's good, huh? Yeah.
Some of the stores will only allow a certain amount of people in at one time. So you're standing in line outside before you actually can go in. Okay.
That works. You know, in Kuwait, we had an issue with the cities that are overpopulated.
Sure.
You know,
sure.
Social distancing won't work, especially if the culture is not there.
And actually, they've been calling it social distancing. They should call it physical distancing.
Yeah, physical distancing. Yes, I like that.
Let me move this over here a little bit. Is that still good?
Okay. Yep, that's good. Let me send somebody some links to whoever is online so they can join us. And
excellent.
don't miss any. I know some of the people, you know, we are in Kuwait, we are, you know, practicing Ramadan. So we fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we fast. We break our fast as around 6:37, quarter to 7. So we stay late. We stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we sleep. So we don't stay awake all the time, hungry and thirsty.
Well, you look phenomenal.
Thank
you look
you.
healthy. You just great spirits.
Thank you,
I feel the excitement.
Well, having a mentor like you, I should be like this.
Wow. An honor.
It is true. It is true.
Honor to be here with you.
Same here. Thank you very much for being with us, actually, and really appreciate your time. And we see you are contributing a lot at this, you know, situation with COVID-19 and what's happening. I know about the Pyramid Club and the no excuses, no choice. You know, it's really good to see you, you know, inspiring people and giving to the world. And this is something that, you know, really, you know, people like you who are educating others, who are inspiring others, you know, at this time, they come up out, you know. Some people, you know, for me, in the first week, I was like, what am I going to do, you know? And then I changed my thoughts and I started doing these things. And thank you for accepting the invitation, sir. Yes. I know you're a busy man. So let's jump in. Well, let me introduce you at least. For those who don't know you, okay? Jim is all about personal power and unleashing the power within everyone. He's always passionate and positive and believes in people and their capability. And I like to quote, you know, one of the movies. They say, "What a man can do, another can." And this is what I saw in what you're giving, Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith authored 3 books. The No Excuse Guide to Success, and From Average to Awesome, and then lastly is the Crash and Learn. So he's an international speaker. It's a joy to have him here around us, in Kuwait and the Middle East. People are joining us from all over. I see Mr. Kamal, who is a fan of yours at ATD, is here. From Bahrain, people from Saudi. I know you worked with Sabik, you know, sometimes. So you are a bit known here. And as you go into getting us into business, you can, you know, share some stories for the audience where they will get to know you more, hopefully. Coach Saeed is here from Muscat, Oman. Thank you, Coach Saeed, for joining. Please, the floor is yours, Dr. Smith.
It's Mr. Excitement number one. Thank you. This is an honor. This is a privilege. And as you've gotten to know me over the years, you know I don't take anything for granted.
Yes.
So the fact that you reached out and said, come speak to my friends and colleagues and family, you know I'm there.
Thank you
now,
so much.
Before we started, for real, you had indicated that you were thinking about what am I going to do during this COVID time. You were more proactive than me. I'm going to take you back to March the 19th.
Right.
I was invited to a book signing presentation where from 8 to 8:30 a.m. we would have breakfast, and from 8:30 to 10 the author would make a presentation, 20 people in the room, and I was all set. So I arrived a little before 8, parked my car, entered the building, took the elevator up, walked in the room. Now, I had already started the physical distancing handshake, which was a nod or an elbow. I wasn't shaking.
Right.
So we small talk, excited. I went to get some breakfast. I sat down. It's 8:25, 5 minutes away from starting. I take out my phone to check messages for the last time. I'm going to put it away for 90 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
8:27, an email came in. The email said that the session I was doing the subsequent week in Miami had been postponed. Within 60 seconds, another email came in. The session that I was doing in 2 weeks in Orlando had been postponed. So that's 2 sessions in less than 2 minutes, thousands of dollars gone.
Yes.
So I sat there. They started going around the room doing introductions. I saw people's lips moving, but I couldn't hear because I was in my feelings about what just happened. And when they got to me, I wanted to say, I'm broke Jim, but I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm Dr. Jim, author, presenter, speaker, and so forth. But for those 90 minutes, the only thing I was focusing on was, how am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay that? I have my staff. I have my clients. I have my rent. I have my mortgage. And I would say I was there in that same mindset for a good 3 days. I took the punch in the gut and I felt the impact, and it hurt. The third night, I couldn't sleep. So I was up all night, still thinking about how I'm going to pay this, how I'm going to pay that, what am I going to do? Now, I have 2 sons who both are on the autistic spectrum. They're nonverbal. They have a special diet. Groceries are super expensive. So I'm thinking about them as well.
Of course.
That Monday, I said, I got to do something. So I start calling my mentors and my colleagues to get their advice. I call them my titans because in life, I believe you have titans or titanics. And it's obvious what titanics do. They sink you. So I got advice from them. I went and started rereading my books, getting advice from me.
Yes.
Then I went to YouTube University to start watching motivational, inspirational videos. And within 3 days or so, I was back. Mr. Energy was here. The mojo was here. And that's where I've been since. Every day it's, what can I do differently? How can I reinvent myself? What could I do that I haven't already done? It's easy right now to go victim. It's easy.
Yeah.
The challenge is going volunteer. The challenge is getting bigger. The challenge is, have you ever seen the movie The Matrix?
Yes.
It came out, one of my favorite movies of all time. And throughout the movie, they kept telling Neo, you're the one. You're the one. Like, not me.
Yeah.
You're the one. Not me. You're the one. And when he started believing he was the one, he's dodging bullets. He's stopping bullets. He could see at a whole different level. He could jump at a whole different level. When we believe we're the one, we change our superpowers. We change how we see the world. We change how we feel about the world. And since I got over my 3-day pity party, bring your own blues, not bottle, blues, I've been on fire ever since.
All right. Amazing, amazing story. And if you know, you kind of changed your thought, or you changed your questions to yourself, or the internal dialogue.
Yeah,
because
it's changing some people, the critic within.
Some people, they go with that, and it spirals, and it takes them like 10 years, 20 years, or maybe a lifetime. And at the bed, you know, they're thinking, oh, this is my life. What happened? And that's what we want people to learn. I mean, and take this, you know, epidemic as an alert, or as time to get stronger.
Yeah. Couple things. Another one of my mentors likes to use these acronyms. CTC. The letter C, the C as in cat, T as in top, C as in candy.
Yes.
And every time you're having that, woe is me, that internal critic, he always says CTC, which stands for check the conversation. Check the conversation you're now having with yourself. Is it one that is lifting you up or pushing you down? Check the conversation. And in my opening story, the conversation I was having was pretty negative. And in life, what you focus on grows. What you focus on grows. So what was I focusing on? What I did not have, rather than what I did have. Now, financially, my calendar was clean because of COVID.
Yes.
But I had my voice, I had my mind, I had my creativity, I had my organization, I started focusing on what I do have. And guess what's growing now? And you and I have seen each other at the ATD conference every year forever. But we have never done a session together. So it takes COVID for these Mr. Energy, Mr. Excitement to come together to make some magic. So don't tell me you can't do things.
Right.
It's up here.
Yes.
Energy and action follow thought. Energy and action follow thought. So what are you thinking about? And is it creating the action that you want? So right now, I'm working on my TED Talk. If in fact TED Talks are the same when things open up again.
Right, yes.
I'm working on my next book, which is called Authenticity at Work. How to be true to yourself without getting fired. Because all my doctoral research was on authenticity at work, being authentic, being true to yourself, living the life you believe you should live based on who you are. So I'm adding that element to all my workshops, my offerings, my books, my keynotes. It's focusing on what I do have, not on what I don't. And like you said, it can be a lifelong mindset. I'm reminded of Les Brown, famous motivational speaker.
I love him. Yeah.
He wrote the foreword for my first book. So he's actually a colleague. He tells people that most people die at 25, but they aren't buried until they're 85, which means 60 years of existing and not living. 60 years of going through life and not growing through life. 60 years of saying on Monday, I can't wait till the weekend gets here. 60 years. Wow.
That's really, sad, huh? To see, that, and we have the power, we have everything. And we just surrender and let go. I just want to shout out for Shoshana. Shoshana is here. She's our colleague.
Hey, yes. Shoshana. Shoshana, how are you?
And to everybody who's joining us, please, if you have any questions, there is a small icon on your phone with the question mark. Just press that and ask the question, and we'll get to it later on. And even if we close the hour without finishing, we'll rejoin again and give more 10 minutes for the people to rejoin and so on. Okay, please, Jim. Go ahead.
Something you mentioned right before you said that, you said, we have the power.
Yeah.
And we do. Remember the song that came out in the 1990s? The group was called Snap. And the song is, I've got the power.
Yes.
I've got the power.
Yeah. That's a nice song.
Well, if we have the power, if we have it, why do we give it away? Why do we give it away? When we say, you get on my nerves. No, I can't get on your nerves. You put me on your nerves. You make me mad. No, you choose to get mad. This is going to be a tough audience. We've already made the audience tough and gave them our power. We have it, and we give it away to the weather, to friends, to colleagues, to audiences, to
government,
to government, to the boss, to our spouse. We consistently say, here's my power, here's my power, here's my power.
Oh.
Keep your power. Keep it. Leverage it. Grow it. And don't let COVID, the government, a mask, or anything take it away.
Awesome.
See, we live in something that's called with choices. You might have heard me use this quote before. It's one of my favorites, so get ready to hear it again.
Yes.
When we are young, we look a lot like our parents. But when we get older, we look a lot like our choices. Now, when we look in the mirror, we may be thinking we're looking at ourselves. You know what else you're looking at? You're looking at your choices. You stand and you look at that mirror, you're looking at your choices. Am I choosing to play big? Am I choosing to play big today? Am I choosing to be powerful today? Am I choosing to feel sorry for myself today? Am I choosing not to work on my book today? Am I choosing to sleep in today? Am I choosing to not work out today? When you look in the mirror, you see your choices. You see the reflection, but you really see your choices. When you look in the mirror every morning, you see Mr. Excitement, the person who has chosen to start this speaking and development empire in Kuwait, a person who's co-authored a book, a person who comes to the States consistently to grow his craft. Choices.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And not everyone's doing what you're doing. Some people are saying, one day, someday, eventually, when I get around to it, I'm going to do that. Well, I don't know the last time you checked, but my calendar says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not one day, someday, eventually one day. Really?
Being clear, being clear.
Being clear and being very, very intentional and purposeful. Choosing intentional and purposeful. Not choosing one day, someday. That's why I don't do bucket lists.
No
bucket lists are those lists that you write down all the things you want to do one day, someday, eventually. I want to do it now. I want to live a life now. Because to me, a bucket list is a wait list. It's like being in the waiting room.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let me write that down. Let me write that down. One day, when the kids get older, when the kids go to school, one day.
And when they go to school and when they get married, and it goes
on. Yes. How many people said to you prior to you writing that book, how many people said, you need to write a book one day? You need to write a book one day. Yeah. If someone's telling you they believe you need to write a book, that means they see the value in what you have, your experiences. And after a while, 10, 20, 30 people, they're all people going to buy your book.
Yeah. I tend to do that to people as well, Dr. Jim.
Yeah.
Like when I read somebody from someone or something, or, you know, having discussion with someone and he hasn't written or she hasn't written a book, I say, you should write a book. You know, you have value to give, you know. But, you know, I don't see it.
It's the critic. The critic.
Yeah.
I work with people to write books, and here are the fears I hear.
Yes.
Fear of being judged.
Right.
Fear of having something people will want to read. Worrying about the comments, how you write, how you edit. And actually also afraid to be vulnerable.
Right.
Afraid to be authentic. And as a result, it doesn't get done. It doesn't get done.
It gets postponed.
Yeah. The book stays up here. The song stays up here. The company stays up here. The idea stays up here. Right now, the universe has said, I'm giving you a timeout. A timeout to create whatever you want. You're working from home or you're an entrepreneur and you don't have any work. You have time now to create whatever you want to create. And what are we doing? Saying, I can't wait till things go back the way they used to be. Those days are over. We're never going back.
We tend to do that. I mean, like in retrospect, if I look at the school time, it was the best time I ever had. But when I was at the school time, I was complaining. I want to just graduate and go to work. And when you have to, and I remember, you know, during working time, we just wanted a holiday or a break or stay at home. We cannot. We're always saying busy, busy, busy. And now we have the time, and yet we are complaining.
It's the nature of who we are. We are fault finders. We forecast failure. We remember the negative feedback more so than any positive feedback that we receive. I remember, and this is something that I'm not proud of, but I remember when my daughter was in high school and she came home with her report card. And in the States, the report card, A is the top and F is failing. She had, of her 9 grades, 8 A's and 1 C. Guess what Daddy focused on? Guess what Daddy focused on?
On the C.
Yes. Not those 8 A's.
Yes.
I went right by them to focus on the blemish. Like, what happened?
I do that with the report, yes.
I've since changed, but I was guilty of it.
Right.
I found the blemish. I found the fault.
Yeah.
Thank you for
your vulnerability, sir.
I'm getting better at getting naked, being authentic, being real. It's what I believe in.
Yes. I think Mr. Kamal Shihabi had a question or thanks. You see it, Jim?
I have to take my
You see
glasses
the
off.
question? Hi, Jim. Thanks a lot for your
Oh,
motivational dialogue.
yes.
What's your advice to the youth not to die at the age?
Yes. My advice is the first thing I would advise them is to be around like-minded people. Like-minded people and smarter people. Because if you're the smartest person amongst your friends, you need some new friends. Because
You're not learning, correct?
you're not learning, and who's pouring into you? Number two, I would do my best to develop and find something I'm passionate about. And if you can find that passion point, I would begin to develop it. And I would tell others about it, whether it my peers, my friends, relatives. I would share my passion with other people. Because my goal would be to get them excited about my passion. And if you think about the word passion, how it's spelled, Passion. It's spelled passion, but it really means, if you look at it, pass, I, on. Pass, I, on. You're passing your passion, your love, your magic on. You're passing you on. You're a gift. And in life, we have to show up as the gift more often. Not just show up as the individual, show up as the gift that we are. I was watching a YouTube video, and musicians were on the stage. Tom Petty, Steve Winwood, I believe Prince was there as well. But while they were playing initially, Prince was in the back or in the side. The spotlight wasn't on him. He was in the dark. You couldn't see him really. And the others were playing and they were jamming. And then Prince came out of the dark, came to the front of the stage, and him and his guitar became one. And they became one. Whereas you couldn't see anyone else. All you could see is Prince. Well, by doing that, and then he finished and threw the guitar into the audience and walked away.
As usual.
He just didn't bring Prince. He just didn't bring the guitar. He brought himself. He was the gift. He was the gift. And that was, you can YouTube it, something about my guitar, Prince, phenomenal. And I believe we are gifts. We have to uncover that gift, that passion, and then learn how to leverage it. Because no one can do it like you. We are so different. The quote is, be yourself because everybody else is taken. So be the gift. And if you are having a hard time determining what that is, when I do brand coaching, I give an assignment where I ask you to find 20 people, relatives, find 20 people you work with, and find an additional 10 people who you just met, and ask each of them to jot down their thoughts about you. A word, a sentence, a paragraph. When they think of Mr. Excitement, what comes to mind? Family, work colleagues, and people who are just meeting you. The goal is to see how people view you, their impression of you, and to see if a composite or a list of similarities begins to develop. You create that list, you get rid of the outliers, and now you see how other people see you. So the question is, do you like what they see? Do you want to leverage that? Or do you want to make some changes? A person a long time ago told me that I had a way of making whoever I'm talking to feel like he or she is the most important person in the room.
Wow, that's a great quality.
And I didn't realize I was doing it.
Yeah.
I was just showing up and making you the most important person in my life, right? No multitasking, just focusing on you.
You do.
And years ago, when I worked for the Brodie Group, after I auditioned for him, I think I was 35, 36, and he said, Jim, listen, are you always that energetic, or were you doing this just because you want this job?
Yeah.
I said, Bob, this is me. I'm bringing this energy all of the time. I'm bringing it.
Yes, I know.
And it works. At least it works up to now.
It works. Definitely it works. Because, see, when you are communicating out of your heart, out of what you believe in, what your values systems are, you will reach. You will definitely reach.
Yeah.
I remember in one of the ATD sessions that I attended for Brett, the neuroscientist.
Yes.
Brett said something that, you know, when you approach or when you show up in any present, in any situation, and you have negative thoughts about the people or about whoever you are seeing, they will feel it, and you will give some sort of vibrations.
Yes.
And you don't think. So I've learned from that to always look at people as you said, as you know, they are really good and they are genuine and they are the best. And we connect, we establish rapport so quickly. And really, it's a blessing for me, you know, to have the connection, the relationship, as you said.
Well, you attract what you give.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So if you're giving energy, you're attracting energy. You want to meet good people, be a good person.
Right.
It's not rocket science.
Right. Even with energy vampires.
I'm sorry?
Even with energy vampires.
Oh, you know, gosh, those folks who suck the life.
Yes.
They're out there.
Yes.
But you know something? They're out there. They can be avoided. But what do? We call them. We text them. We accept their emails. So you're accepting them. You're saying, come on in my house, vampire. Come on in. Suck the life out of me. And that's a poor choice. Now, Hamza, people would say, I made a mistake. Here's what I say to that. What happens before the mistake? The choice. The choice happens first. And you very seldom hear people say, I made a poor choice. You hear them say, I made a mistake. And what that does is lessen their responsibility or accountability in their mind.
Okay. So different words will give you a different effect.
Right.
Can you repeat that, sir? If you have
in life, people oftentimes say, I made a mistake. And what I say is, something happened before the mistake.
Yes.
And that is the choice. The choice. Now, if you did not know, then it could be a mistake. For instance, if you're driving your car and you come to a sign and the sign says, don't proceed, road is out, you'll get hurt. And you drive through it anyway and crash, that's a poor choice.
Yes.
And a mistake. But if you were driving down that road and there was no sign there and you drove off the cliff, then that's a mistake because you had no idea.
No choice.
But many of us make mistakes by making that choice first. And they don't want to say, I made a poor choice. They say, I made a mistake.
So
that's why my notes are useful.
The right wording to use is, I made the wrong choice.
I made a poor choice first. Yes. Absolutely. If you were getting on the elevator and the elevator's top floor is responsibility and accountability, the first button is for the choice floor.
Mm-hmm.
The second floor gets into mistake or whatever happens as a result. But that first floor is your choice floor. That's why I believe we should own our choices.
And therefore we will
simple,
become more responsible.
Yes. So right now, what are we choosing during this COVID-19 time?
Mm-hmm.
What are we choosing?
Netflix.
And it's very individual, but it's up to us.
Yes.
And I'm choosing to reinvent every workshop and course that I offer. I am making edits and changes to do it from a distance. I have a 2.5-day boot camp that we meet in person. I'm working on a Zoom boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what it's called. We may never get 20, 30 people in a room for physical learning again. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. And we have to be prepared.
Yeah.
We have to be
choose
prepared for the
preparation.
worst. Rather than complaining and whining and saying, blaming it on the virus or whatever, we have to take responsibility and do the work. Since we have the time to do a better work, and then whatever happens, it's a different situation. We'll handle it as the day comes by, or the time comes. Rather than thinking too much and getting into that spiral that takes you into the mud. Yes, absolutely. This is beautiful, Jim. Thank you so much for these insights.
Here's what's simple about this.
Yes.
If we compare our life to a movie,
mm-hmm.
compare our lives to a movie.
Yes.
Who's starring in that movie? Who's directing that movie? Who's writing the screenplay for the movie? I'm directing, starring, living my own movie. And when we start to blame others or situations, we're now saying the movie is directing me.
Yeah.
And I'm not starring in my own movie. I'm waiting for this to happen. I'm waiting for that to happen. That's why I tell people all the time, lose some weight. And the weight I talk about is WAIT. Stop waiting for this to happen and waiting for that to happen. Yeah. Lose some weight.
Yeah, indeed.
It's not rocket science. We're in control. Yeah. Now, do you know where the jump into your bigness comes from?
Yes. Yeah, please share that. Yes.
And I'll do the condensed version of the story.
Obviously. Yeah.
On August 18th, 2018, 1818, mm-hmm. I went skydiving.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I'm afraid of heights.
Okay.
And I wanted to spend time in my discomfort zone. To say that I was afraid mm-hmm. would be an understatement. But I did it, landed. I was beside myself with euphoria and adulation.
Where did you do it?
You said when? Or where?
Where?
Oh, I was in New Jersey.
New Jersey,
in the States. And after I landed, I was giving everybody high fives. I was like, I jumped. We went out for drinks afterwards. I'm in the restaurant. I jumped. I got home. I called my mentor and I told her that I jumped. And I expected her to clap. Way to go,
yes.
way to go, way to go, Jim,
yes.
high five.
Yeah.
There was nothing. And
no.
aren't you proud of me? Well,
Yes.
Jim, you do a lot of risky things. So for you to jump out of a plane, one
It's
day you were
normal.
going to do it. Doesn't surprise me. But what I'm going to challenge you to do, Jim, I'm going to challenge you when you work with your clients, your customers, your colleagues, don't teach them how to jump out of a plane. Teach them how to jump into their bigness every day. Jump into their purposefulness. Jump into writing that book. Jump into starting their own business. Jump into taking that risk at work. Jump into being innovative every single day. Jump. Every day. Jump. Forget about the plane. Jump into your passion. Jump into your dream. Jump into your webcast. Jump into your Zoominar. That thing that excites you, that you've been putting off, that you've been thinking about, sitting on, waiting. Jump every day into your bigness. To me, that is more.
I mean,
that's more of a challenge than the plane.
Yeah, when you jump, you're putting effort, correct?
Effort, energy.
Movement.
You're being vulnerable. Movement. You're being vulnerable. You are. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm still jumping. I might not know how to do that, but I'm still jumping. 2 weeks ago, when I did my first virtual Zoom keynote, I had never done a keynote virtually. Never.
I know, yes.
I jumped. Because I have to learn how to jump through the screen, even though we are hundreds of thousands of miles away. I have to get it so that you feel me, that I'm right next to you.
Is that
like we're in the same room?
Is that with the Pyramid Club? The Pyramid Club?
Well, the Pyramid Club was my first series of webcasts. I had never done that before. Never done that before.
I saw some of them. Unfortunately, the timing for us doesn't work.
Yes.
I see the recorded.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes even this event company, it's hard to get into it. Yeah, Eventbrite, yes.
Well, I can send you the link. I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
What makes you jump professionally? You jump to come to the States for learning and development. You jump to write your book. You jump to start your own company. You jump to become Mr. Excitement. What motivates you to jump?
It was an accident, but one day I saw a person who I trained 12 years back. He became an HR manager in one of the companies, and he said, "I want to work with you." And I said, "Oh, thank you, but can I know why me?" He said, "Because 12 years ago, you taught me." And so I saw the effect on what I'm doing. So I said, I'm gonna, do that, full time. So I left my job. I was a marketeer. So in marketing, they teach us about the people element in the marketing mix, which is more important than the product, the price, the promotion. It's the main thing. It's the people. And many organizations, they say our people are our asset. Not all of them actually practice it. But I saw that and I said, this is where I want to be. I want to develop an ATD. Was my school and my with your as you said in the beginning, be your advice to Mr. Kamal, be with like-minded people. And for me, ATD is like meeting my family, my global family. My global family. And I love
Which
your
now
hugs.
means I have a global family.
Hugs. I miss your hugs. But we were supposed to be there next week.
Well, we'll have even more hugs next year.
Yes, definitely.
Are there any questions out there and any thoughts from anyone?
Yes, there are. Let me get this. Word of wisdom for 2020 graduate. This is from Aya. she's my daughter. She's in New York City. She's in Manhattan now.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing her finals at Pace University.
Mm-hmm.
So she's happy to hear this wisdom. She considered it for 2020 graduate because she's graduating in a week time.
Yeah. They are a special group. Whoever's graduating this year.
Yes.
So proud of them. They're so unique. They're graduating. They're dealing with unprecedented, difficult times, and their heads are still up. Yeah. The class of 2020, the best. The best. Future leaders.
I am sure. Yeah, they have different circumstances, and yet they prevailed.
Oh yeah, mindset.
Yeah, they give me strength. Really, they give me strength. Kamal is asking how to stay focused long enough until our objectives are achieved.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's one day at a time. One moment at a time. If you sit down to write a book, a lot of people are thinking, how am I ever going to write this book?
Yes.
Write a sentence. Write a page. Next thing is 2 pages. Don't think about the enormity of the task. Do that one aspect every day. When I went back to school at 55 years old to earn my doctorate degree, the one thing that was keeping me from going was thinking that, when am I going to have time? I'm writing, I'm speaking, I'm traveling. When will I? Well, I was 20 years saying that.
Yes.
So then I said, one book at a time, one class at a time, one paper at a time. Next thing you know it, cap and gown, I'm graduating.
I saw that. Beautiful on Facebook. Your graduation.
Yeah, so
it motivated me, you know, to see you going through that. And this is really awesome. Awesome, my friend. We have Muhammad, Coach Muhammad. He's asking, I am still afraid and delaying my jump. What to do?
It's determining first, why are you afraid? Is it fear or is it uncertainty? Or have we combined the two?
Right.
They are different feelings. I could be afraid and I could be uncertain. So it's uncoupling the two. Uncertainty, you're not sure, which means you need to be more courageous and more vulnerable. Number 2, with regard to the fear, you have to ask yourself, what's bigger? Is it fear or my mission? What's bigger, my fear or my mission? And for many of us, fear beats our mission in the ground. But if your mission is so big, yeah, you're going to feel the fear and you're going to keep moving in. The most challenging thing I ever done in my life was jump out of a plane. I'm 15,000 feet in the air. And guess who's in control? The person who I'm jumping with.
Yeah.
I have no control.
Yeah.
And I jumped. And he pulled the parachute. So ask yourself, what power am I giving to that fear? And does my fear know more about what I'm going to do than I do? It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Your fear is causing you to wait. Now, there are people who are afraid to get married, but they do it.
Yeah.
People are afraid to have children, but they do it. There are people who drive a car. There are thousands of motorists in the street next to them, and they're going 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. Where's the fear then? It's a mindset. Stop giving your power away. Jump.
Jump.
It's
Just
easy
jump,
to
jump, and when you jump, you will find, you'll find your way.
You will find your way, and the universe will come up to meet you. The universe is going to cooperate with your jump. and create the synergy.
And be resilient, not from the first mistake or the first fault you give up. You have to try. If it's a big vision, as you said, if it's really worth it, it will overcome the fear. And the fear, I think, it's only a thought. A thought of something unknown.
Yes. Well, here's another way to look at fear. F-E-A-R. F-E-A-R.
Yeah.
Some people say it means false expectations appearing real.
Yes.
That's not me.
Yes.
I say face everything and rise.
Wow.
Face everything and rise.
Yes.
I rise up. I rise up. Face everything and rise.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Change the conversation. Check the conversation and rise up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I got you. The second part of the question was at the age of 25 and stay focused. Is that...
Yeah. The statement I had made earlier was that Les Brown once said that many of us die at 25, but we aren't buried until we're 85.
Yeah.
And those are people who exist, not live. People who go through their each day rather than growing through their each day. People who are choosing to live in pain, in frustration. And it's unfortunate that we learn to live in pain.
Yeah.
We learn to live in stress. And we hope that it goes away. You're starring in the movie. You make it go away by changing how you show up. We want other people to change. Because they're starring in their movie. You're starring in your movie. So you be the change.
Be the change that you want to see in the world.
Absolutely. Because you'll always get what you've always got until you become the person you've never been. Well, go be that person you've never been. And the universe is giving you an opportunity right now. And in order for you to do that, I'm going to challenge you to believe you're going to be able to do it, not to think you can do it. We got to stop using the word think. I'll share it with you. I'll give you an example.
Yes.
I think I'm going to write a book real soon. I believe I'm going to write a book real soon. Big difference between the think and the believe. And the belief comes from within, here, your engine room, your power room. Your thoughts are up here.
Yeah.
Engine is stronger than this. So I believe that you're going to be even more successful, Mr. Excitement. I believe that you're going to consistently see the world. Write more books. Have another podcast or two. I believe. I don't think it.
Yeah.
I believe it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We have about 6 minutes, and you reminded me of Muhammad Ali Clay, the greatest boxer. He had a quote that says, "I am the greatest." When he was 18, he was not the greatest, but he kept saying, "I am the greatest," and his brain, he believed it. His brain started, contributing, and he became the greatest. Really, I mean, in boxing, he is the greatest. I mean, whenever the word boxing comes, Muhammad Ali comes, right?
I'm glad you shared that because I'm in my office right now.
Yes.
And I have a painting of Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston, one of the guys he knocked out. And here's the quote. I'm going to read the quote to you.
Right.
It says, "Champions aren't made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside, a desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have the skill and will, but the will must be stronger than the skill. The will must be stronger than the skill. The will must be stronger than the fear, than the uncertainty, than the ambiguity. The will must be stronger than the skill.
Because if you have the will, you can learn the skill.
Yeah. Yeah. Will you jump? I know you can jump, but will you jump? And the thing is, oftentimes, when we don't jump, we're not happy with our current circumstances.
Absolutely.
We're
yes.
not happy there.
Yeah.
But we choose to stay there.
Just to stay in our comfort zone, fearing that somebody else will, say something bad about us or something like this. We have 4 minutes. Just to let
Any more questions?
Any questions? Ladies, gentlemen, any questions for Dr. Jim? Trying to see if there's any comment or questions.
Well, then I have a question for them.
All right.
To answer for you. The question is, they've just spent an hour with us.
All right.
You and I both have been pouring in, giving tips and tools and suggestions. I want them to type in the chat room, what's the first thing they're going to do? What are they going to do next?
Yes.
Based on your advice and my advice, for them to put in the chat room, what's the first thing that they're going to do as soon as they get off of this call?
All right. You heard the questions? Write in the chat, in the comments. Tell us what we're going to do after this. I already wrote mine. I already, I already wrote what am I going to do after this chat or after this conversation. Beautiful conversation. All the way from Philadelphia.
Yes, Rocky. Not Ali, Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky. Did you see that video?
Are folks writing in? I'm sorry?
Nothing came about. Let me see. Maybe it's down. 2 minutes to go. I'll jump. Somebody said jump. I'll jump now. Thank you, guys. Okay, that's a good question from Southern. How to define your mission in life?
Well, that's personal.
Come on, send one. Yeah.
That's soul searching. That's writing your story and seeing how you lived up to now. It's determining what you love doing, what you would do without getting paid. Is asking people when they've seen you at your best. Like for that one, it's going to happen through discovery. It's not someone saying, here is your passion. Is you determining what that passion is based on your experiences.
I think she should sit with a blank piece of paper and a coloring pen and just dots down ideas and come up what she wants to create that vision or mission for her life. I mean, as you said, should be passionate about. So you would do something that you would do for free. And you will be succeeding and you'll get money for it.
I would encourage anyone out there.
Just in case. We can rejoin, but it's the last minute before they kick us out.
Okay. Go ahead. I would encourage anyone to go back to when they were a little kid and determine, what did I love doing? Even back then, what did I love doing? Guess what it was for me? Yeah. I love talking. I love talking. I love making people feel better. Here it is, 59 years later.
You are a great storyteller. You are a great storyteller.
Thank you. But I'm doing the same thing I was doing when I was a little child. Yeah. Connecting, motivating, laughing, telling stories, talking, and now I get paid to do what I love.
Yeah. We're almost over, 7 seconds to go. Thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being